What is going on? Welcome to another episode of the Dent Digest live show.
I'm sorry, my bad.
What-
You know, with
What?
Dent PDR Expo around the corner 2 weeks from now.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
I
I'm
hate-
sorry. Just
I think
sorry,
Zan has a couple more of those, correct?
What a way to rub it off. Thank you, Ryan.
Hey, keeping it real.
PDR Expo 2 weeks from now. Dent trials going down. I'm excited, man. I really
excited?
am. Yes.
It would be great to see you.
I'm guessing you're not going. But anyways, what's up, Ryan? What's up, everyone?
What's going on, buddy? How are you?
Oh man, just been busy. It's been hot, long day. Still got a couple cars that we got to finish up tonight. So just living the life, you know.
It has been busy.
Yeah.
It's another month. You know how that goes. It's that 911 call today. I'm the fireman. Everybody calling. Hey, what's the chances of you can And I'm like, all right, let's see what we can do. Hey, we got this hail car that dropped off. You think you can have it done tomorrow? And I was like, what? What are you talking about? But it's been good. I got a new guy starting on Tuesday, so there's a lot trying to get ready for that.
Man, how many guys do you have now?
Josh, Mikey. It'll be 6 of us.
Wow, that's awesome, man! Congrats.
Edgar,
Christopher, Lewis.
It's
what's
scary.
up, guys?
It's scary. It's scary.
Hey, if you ain't living on the edge, man, what are you doing?
I'm over the edge.
You can't just cruise through life. You got to
hanging
push
on.
it.
Just hanging on to that cleave, poking my head up a little bit, like, hey, I'm still here. But no, things are good.
That's good, man.
We're doing our thing, dude. Still got some hail, just really weird stuff, some really, really bad damage.
Really?
I feel like some of the customers are unrealistic expectations on some of the repairs. Some of this really, really bad stuff.
What do you mean by that?
Like some of them that are like, can you just try this? Like, I don't want to take it to the body shop. I know the paint's cracked, or I know it's stretched, to see what you can do. And then you get done with it. And we had one this week. You get done with it and they're like, didn't come out as good as I thought. And I was like, we explained all this from the go. Like what the expectation was 50 to 60%. You know what I mean? Like we're saving your fender. And for what it was, it really wasn't. It didn't look terrible. Like if you didn't know it was really that damaged, you would never know.
Right.
You know how it is when that lip on a fender gets just hammered and it's wrinkled all over the place. What are you going to do? There's so much you can do,
Yeah.
So, and what it was is the guy had a vehicle, had all these issues with it. Volkswagen was buying it back.
And those are the worst. Yeah.
And it got hit. So he's like, I got to turn it back in next week. What can you do? And I don't want to take it to the body shop. And I'm like, it needs a fender. Like, so, but for me, it was good because I tried a bunch of different stuff, a bunch of different tools and stuff. So, but besides that, bad damage, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to ask you, what tool made that job like?
I used a little bit of the B&D edge pliers.
Okay.
The Cam Auto fender pliers, the Jaybird, a lot of the Jaybird, with some different stuff, different tips and different stuff. Like we were piling, the damage was so big I couldn't really even cold glue it because the edge was already damaged. So I wanted to try to keep that structure and some lateral tension stuff. Just trying to throw the kitchen sink at it. You know what I mean?
What do you do normally, like when the fender just wants to like just buckle outwards and like you have to hold it in? What do you normally use for that?
A second pair of hands.
Oh, one of the guys. Hold it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Something I like is, I don't know if you saw Dent Dial's post today. He has this like, shout outs to the man. He's always just coming up with things, right? but he has this bar on the floor that's sitting on the tire, and then there's this other like bar that's holding that edge. I
Yeah,
thought
the
that was cool.
direct pressure bar. That thing is cool. But yeah, I mean, second pair of hands. You know, sometimes it's. What are you gonna do? Metal's metal. You know, when that fold of metal just starts getting, you know, kind of wrinkled and really far in, you see the top of the tread of the tire. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And it was I can usually call it.
Thank you, Jeff. David, what's up, Josh?
When it's a
Dude.
full moon, I can usually tell like the customers when they come in. I can tell. I called my wife the other day. I was like, "Is it a full moon week?" And she's like, "Oh my gosh, it is." And she's like, "You can always call it." I'm like, "We know, you know." But no, things are great, man. Things are good. I got a tool that I got in the mail that I got to use like the same day that it came in.
That's always a good thing. Like when you get a tool and you put it to work like that instant or like that same day.
So you know I'm a big Excalibur Jaybird guy. I love that tool. It's a fantastic tool, and I think you have this one. But I got the Dominator, which is a bigger Jaybird.
Yeah.
I used it. We do a ton of Toyota bedsides. And this one was kind of higher up. And, you know, you can't get any access through the taillight opening. So you always cut those plastic clips off. Well, I cut the plastic clips off. Some people save them. But cut those plastic rivet clips off to get the liner to drop. This is badass for that.
Interesting. I have never used it on the Challenger.
Put a nice ball tip on there and just slide up. And it just, like the big rubber black ball. And it just really does a great job. My problem with the Jaybird was I was trying to use it a lot on that. And I just couldn't get enough up in there. So I was like, Josh and I were talking, and I was like, I'm going to order it. So I ordered it, and it came in, and it was like, came in at like midday, and I still had that bedside to do. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, this is it. So,
you know, Sergey, you know what he used it on today? You know, he was doing a bumper, you know, the corners when they get smashed. He actually got that one in there, and it was just very easy. You know, because I don't know about you. Normally, I'll just lay on the floor and, you know, get a tool up in there like a regular rod.
I don't do them.
Oh, you don't do them?
We don't do bumpers at all.
Well, yeah. Oh, okay. So, I mean, yeah, this is for the little guys.
Well, no, you know why I don't do them?
Guys.
You want to hear the real reason why?
What's that?
When we used to do them, I felt like the expectation of the final product, they weren't always satisfied. Like they were always, oh yeah, it looks better. Some of them they get that really hard ring that even if you heat up and you try to dolly, like we have the Dent Fix makes them. I think it's Dent Fix. It's actually a roller kit. It's got all these special little rollers. It's like a bumper repair kit. And they work fantastic, but I just didn't feel with as much work as it takes. Sometimes you got to drop the bumper. Sometimes you got to take the bumpers off. I didn't.
I do them for the clients that are like, well, you know, I'll be happy if it just looks better, you know. So it's like, all right, let me just pop this thing out.
We did one probably 3 months ago. It was like the textured black RAV4 corner, and it came out pretty good. But I just
see the thing is that I mean, and you know, like I said, for the little guys. When you do little things like that,
for the little guys, look at this.
when you do little things like that, and you make these clients like really happy, something that for you is just like nothing. It's like, you know, you don't even want to charge. Those clients end up referring you, you know, and speak very highly of you because you helped them out in a situation where they were just having one of those mornings, one of those days, you know, and it's, you know, we all have those moments, right? We're just like, you know, we just want someone to help us. And when we come through, they end up just marketing for you. You know, that's why I do them time to time. But anyway, so Sergey ended up using that one today.
It's a good idea, though.
He made it just very easy. You know, it was just like, dude, smart, you know.
Do you feel like you're getting more calls for like scratches?
Yeah.
We've been on a run for like women's vehicles with their fingernails in the door cups. We did 2 this week, and they're fairly easy to fix because it's literally just the transfer of the nail. It's not actually scratched.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we get in there and just polish them out, and they turn out really, really good. But it's been really weird. A lot of scratch calls, I don't know if it's because the body shops here were so busy. That stuff they were kind of blowing out of the water. Like, we don't feel like messing with it. We want the collision jobs. I don't know.
Either that or they're just getting their nails longer.
That too.
Who knows?
But how did you end up polishing that? What was your end up deal? That's why I called you to try to help you out, but Manny doesn't answer my calls anymore.
So, long story short, I fixed this Suburban really bad. I wanted to do like a nice 2000, 3000 color sand, very light, then polish it. I ended up using a DA to color sand, and I was using water. But when you're using water in a DA, you really don't see how much you're cutting or what you're doing. And so, yeah, I ended up just making it really bad. I put all these like rings on it, and then I have a DA polisher because I moved on from my regular. I don't like to polish a lot, but anyways, I have this small DA polisher, and here I go trying to clean this black panel, and nope, it was not getting rid of it at all. I didn't show this on my IG, but Ryan, I created a mess. Like,
I saw the picture. Saw the picture you had on there when it was sanded. I was like,
listen, that was like one night, and I still went back the following day and like went at it more. Oh, it was really bad. I had one of those moments like, what did I just do? Like, all of my work for PDR just went down the drain if I didn't fix that. So, I have some good body shops that I have good relationship with around the corner. I was like, I'm gonna stop here. I'm not gonna try to keep, trying to fix this. I took the truck to one of the body shops and had their polisher just cleaned it up for me, and voila!
I bet you that thing was flat, no orange peel.
No, actually, it was good. It there was still some texture in it from the clear coat, like some orange peel. So it looked good, but I'm glad I stopped because it was just going downhill. And so, but yeah, Jeff, thank you.
Were you using sandpaper?
Yeah, I learned the hard way.
Gotta get some Trizac.
Yeah. Trust me, I learned the hard way. But yeah. What's up, Ron? What's up, everyone watching?
But it's really good that we all have those relationships.
Yeah, absolutely. And back to what I was saying with the bumper stuff, and sometimes you have these body shops that come in, they just want you to tap something down, or just push something like today. You were talking about end of the month. I had a shop. Hey, end of the month, we replaced this door, used, and there's some wrinkles and some waviness in it. Can you just clean it up so we could try to deliver it tomorrow? Sure, let's go. So I've done so many favors for this shop around the corner. And man, it's just like you built that relationship, So I literally just told the guy, the owner, I was just like, hey, I'm calling for help. I'm calling for help, just like, can you help me out? Sure, come on down. And we just took it to the back, and 45 minutes after, done. So yeah,
that's cool.
Enough awesome. About me. What's up with our guest? Let's get him in, man.
You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Is he ready?
I think
he's ready. Yeah. He's over here biting his fingernails.
Everyone watching, if you guys have questions, just put them on the comments.
Wait till his whole family comes on. It's gonna be amazing. It's family ties.
That's cool. Can't wait.
Mr. Yeager.
What's up? How y'all doing?
How are you?
Good.
So let's get into you a little bit. Where are you from?
I grew up in Houston, Texas.
Nice.
Moved to Nashville in about 2017, and been there ever since.
By the way, I just got a compliment. I like the beard, man. I like that style.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
I have not been able to get it that full, but yours looks good, man.
It's all right, man. You just get some Miracle Grow.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Hell
It looks
yeah.
good though.
I appreciate
How do you say your name? Because is it Brandon?
Brendan Yeager.
Okay,
So,
nice.
Yes, sir.
So how old are you?
I'm 27.
Damn, you don't know what it'd be to be 27 again. Life choices would be very different. So how did you get into this industry? You know, how did this whole thing come about? And it's funny because Chris reached out to me, Christopher Allen, and said, man, he told me a couple months ago, he's like, you got to get him on. I'm telling you, his story's great. He's a hard worker. He does a fantastic job. You got to get him on. And then
He's
last
here too.
week,
Shout out to Chris.
Was it last week? The week before last, he was like, bro, you got to get him on. I was like, send me his info. And then he called me and I was like, I'm going to bed, bro. I'm not answering your phone. But then I reached out and we got him on. So let's get into your background story and how you kind of got into this. And if a lot of you guys don't know, Mr. John Yeager is his uncle, or how do you because you're his nephew? Yes.
Yeah, he's my uncle.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let's get into it.
He's my dad's brother. So, anyways, yeah. I mean, how in depth should I go here? Like, you want me to go like?
So, what did you do before PDR? Let's start with that.
So before PDR, I did a heavy equipment mechanic.
Sure.
Worked for Sunstate Equipment for a while. Then I moved to United Rentals. Worked for United Rentals for about 5-6 years, working on scissor lifts and boom lifts and just big forklift stuff.
That sounds like a cool job. How did you end up finding out about PDR and getting an interest in it?
So when I was living in Houston, I went through some trials and tribulations, made some bad life choices, and I ended up losing my job, and I was kind of in debt, and I was kind of like needed some help. I needed a helping hand, really. And so Uncle John Yeager, you know, he reached out to me. He's like, hey, man, you want to come out and do some work around the house for me? And I'll make the story short. And so he, you know, so I went out there that week or like the next week and just did stuff around the house. And then we had a family reunion. And then that next week, he's like, hey, you want to stay another week, make some money? I was like, yeah, for sure. And I ended up not leaving. That was just it was a staycation. I was just like, you know what? I needed to start over. I needed a fresh start. And
that's fair.
They helped me out with that. My family really came through and helped me out with that. So I got on my feet.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Got back into heavy equipment, and then just being around John a lot more, just seeing what he did, his lifestyle, you know, and I was just kind of like, hey, man, I want to do what you're doing, man.
That's what you see, right? It's easy.
It's
let me pick
right?
this out.
Yeah. Well, being in the heavy equipment industry, like I love being a mechanic.
That's some hard stuff, man. Heavy equipment is not like.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly more electrical than in hydraulics than it is like changing an alternator, which you do that kind of stuff. But that's like the easy part. You're like hoping that you're like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna change this alternator or do something easy like a gasket or something. You know, you're like, let me get that versus trying to figure out a hydraulic system or chase down a background on a scissor lift. You know. But anyways, I just knew that wasn't what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I was like, I enjoy it, but working for big corporations, you're just a number. So it's like, you're replaceable. I didn't like that part of it. You know, I wanted to do more, you know, hold myself accountable rather than somebody I don't even know holding me accountable, trying to make numbers.
Yeah.
So
you got with Uncle John and
got with Uncle John.
Did he just bring you right on? Did he say, let's go?
So no. So for probably a year and a half, 2 years, we were doing, and it wasn't often because, you know, he was only home 4 or 5 months out of the year, and, you know, he's with his family. So every now and again we'd go in the garage and drink some beers and he'd pull the hood out and just make dents and just kind of teach me there. Started with the X's and O's and making highs and lows and whatever. And then, so like for the first 2 years, I was just in the garage, just making myself dents and pushing them out, just trying to get it right. And then it got to a point where he was like, man, I don't really have time for you. I can't give you my full attention. So he hooked me up with Shane Jacks, and I went to his training for a week.
Okay. How was that?
Good, really good. That streamlined the process for sure.
What year was this?
That I went to training?
Yeah.
2020, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so 2020. Yeah, I went on my first hailstorm in 2021. Doing the R&Is.
That's what I heard. You're a really good R&I guy.
Had to be. Especially this first storm. Like there was, you had to be.
So you went to Shane Jacks, you went to training, came back, had a little better idea of what was going on and how to get there.
Yeah, so he trained me specifically on hail. Okay. Is what we did. We didn't really get into, so it was supposed to be 2 weeks. He had to cut it short, unfortunately, due to some personal stuff. But that whole week, yeah, it was just nothing but hail and learn how to glue pull, all that good stuff, which I struggled with the most was the glue pulling. I could push, but glue pulling, I was like, I just didn't like it. I was like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Trying to make
You're lucky you have it. You're lucky you have it now.
Yeah, no doubt. I've been recently forcing myself to like glue pull more often. That way, guy I worked with, he's like, if you make your weakness your biggest strength, then you'll be good. So I kind of took that into consideration to focus on that a lot more.
Yeah, that's. I remember too. That was. I think I was watching one of Mike Toledo's podcasts, and he was interviewing like an older gentleman. I can't remember his name, and his thing was like, I never learned glue pull, but if I was to say anything for any young folks, he was just like, learn glue pull. And at that time, I would hate it. I was one of those guys, just like, while that glue gun is heating up, like I could just get in there, get this dent done,
Yeah.
But then little by little bit, you just keep pushing yourself. And that's absolutely true. You keep pushing on, those things that are tough for you. And if you master that, man,
On to the next problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you got to learn how to blend.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, man. So that's
training's gone. Where are you at then?
So after that, John got onto a storm, and we had talked about it a little bit more. I was like, you know what? I was like, dude, I want to make the jump. He's like, all right, well, I got to get on a good storm. I can't just have you quit a job, and I'm at a storm for like a month. And turned out that he was at a job, and it was like, hey, we might be here 3 months. He's like, now's the time if you want to do it. So I pulled the plug on where I was. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it.
Wait, so you were still working for your full-time job, and you were practicing at home, and you went to training, and you were still working?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. My boss, I laid it out for him. I told my boss at the time, my shop foreman, I was like, look, I don't want to be here. I'm going to move on eventually. You can either help me better myself, or I'll find somebody else that will, work with me. And he was like, dude, I'm down for it. So
that's cool.
When I went to training, yeah, he was super cool, man. Big shout out to him. Help me be a better person,
Well, it just takes off that stress and anxiety of the whole situation. You know what I mean? Like you have a boss that isn't going to support you in something you want to do. So you're going to give a little bit of pushback. But if you get a boss that supports you in something, it's just a different dynamic at that point. You know what I mean? Like he knows you're going to work hard for him, even though you're learning, because you're working together.
Right. Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, what is it that interests you into going into PDR? Like, I know that you knew John did it, and I knew that you had a taste of it, like practicing, but what is it that really interests you to say, I really want to do this?
So a big part of it was the freedom that you have. And I think doing the hail chasing, I mean, money's cool. Everybody knows that. The freedom was a big thing for me, you know, to be like, all right, I can work 6 months out of the year. I don't have to work if I don't want to. Or if I'm at, you know, work for somebody, I don't have to work for this guy that sucks. You know what I'm saying? You have that opportunity to do whatever. But also, I love working on cars. And having that accomplishment. Like lately, I've been doing a lot more hail cars and a lot more pushing this year. And when you have a super beat roof or a super beat hood and it's just beating you up and you come back and you beat it up and you get it done, you get that good satisfaction out of that. It's just like, I did that, you know?
Yeah.
It's good. I enjoy it a lot in that aspect of it, you know?
Yeah.
But just working on cars. Cars have been my passion. Even when I'm not like on my off season, I'm working on cars.
That's cool.
I asked that because I think it's very important, you know, I think to have that passion about working in cars. You can't just go from one thing. And some people have, right? But it's just like, I think it really puts you over the top if you really, you know, just love cars in general, you know?
Not only that, I just love working with my hands. I'm a hands-on guy. I just like to, I don't ever want to have to sit at a desk, you know?
Yeah.
I like being out, doing things, traveling, different places, getting uncomfortable.
Getting uncomfortable. That's a good one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're uncomfortable, you're growing. So
that's true.
Yep, I always say that. So John brings you into this storm. You pull the plug, and what happens then?
So I get on the storm, and I've never R&I'd in my life. I got a mechanical background, but I don't know how to take cars apart like headliners, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big learning curve. They had he's now our friend. He was a kid that worked at the body shop who was doing the R&I. So he kind of showed me the ropes a little bit, and then John maybe did 1-2 cars with me, and then I was on my own after that, just on autopilot, just getting it done.
Now my question is, when you're doing a headliner, I had this question with Josh the other day. When you're tearing a headliner down, are you one of those guys that literally throw shit everywhere? And then, you know, like I've been on a hail scene to where like there's like grab handles, visors, screws all in the cup holders, or are you one of the guys that are like have little containers and okay, this is here for speed? What do you do? How do you do it?
So it depends who I'm working for.
That's fair.
Depends who I'm working for.
What are you fastest at? Like, what's your some people are particular at the way they do things. So
everything, if I'm sitting in the driver's seat, everything I take apart goes in the cup holder. If I'm sitting in the passenger seat, everything goes right here. Same with the back left, everything goes right there. And if it's not there when I get back, somebody moved it. No, I mean, but like I said, sometimes it just depends who I'm looking for. I find it better to be able to just put everything in a cup holder. I have a pretty good memory. I've taken apart a lot of cars. Some people be like, "Oh, where's this screw go?" I could tell you. You know?
Certainly when they're the extra long screws for the visor that are not a visor screw, right? You know, rip it right through the roof.
It can happen. It can happen. No, but those GM visor screws, they're like this long.
Oh yeah.
They're super long. They scare me every time. They still scare me, even though I'm taking so many out and putting so many in.
So basically that's how you started. You went to the storm and you just, you know, went into R&I.
Yes. Yep. That's exactly right. Just started R&I. We had maybe 5 or 6 guys there at a time, tearing stuff apart, and it was in depth. It was a lot. It was headliners, taillights, headlights, bumpers, doors.
Now, were you being just patient, like, you know, I'm just going to focus on, you know, what I'm here to do the R&Is, or were you like eager to like wanting to push, or like, were you patient about like where you were at?
I was patient. I knew what my job was. My job was to go there in R&I. So
See, that's cool.
You gotta stay in your lane.
Yeah.
You work hard for other people, and if they don't see that, then you're not at the right place. But
I
think it's important.
I think it's also you were picking up things. You were still learning because you were watching how they operated. How they, what tools they were using, how they used them. Even though you were still just R&Ing, you were still getting the concept of a real hailstorm and guys like Yeager that know what he's doing.
Yeah. Well, you also learn access.
True.
Well, you learn a lot of access. So if I'm like tearing stuff apart and I don't take something apart, one thing Joel Mathis told me, because when I was R9, he's like, you need to start thinking like a dent guy. And I'm like, I don't know what that means, man. Now I know what that means. Like now I think about it, I'm like, he's right. Started thinking like a dent guy this year.
Yeah. And what is that thought?
That thought is, how you gonna fix that dent right there? Do you need that back glass out, kind of, for instance,
Yeah. That's what, like when Josh came here, because, he's from Colorado, and he's like, you don't cut back glasses out of trucks? And I was like, I've never have. He's like, bro, it cuts so much time.
It does.
Andy's saying that you're one of the best R&I guys, and you're a beast at pushing too.
I love old Andy. That's nice.
He's all right.
I had to get really good at R&I on that first storm for the body shop reason. That's actually how I came up with my name, the Scapegoat, because I was the scapegoat every time. Didn't matter what it was. It could have been a missed dent. It was my fault. No, for real. So it got to a point where I had to make sure that they couldn't see anything R&I was. They'd be like, all right, they can't find anything. That way they couldn't come back on me, and it would still happen.
How do you deal with like not getting things dirty inside when you R&I, like leaving no trace? Do you wear gloves? Do you like try to keep your hands clean? Like how do you deal with that?
Gloves. There's no keeping your hands clean. If you think your hands are clean, they're not. Just put some gloves on.
Certainly on a headliner.
Oh yeah, it's not even worth it. It is not worth it. You might get a customer and come back, and there's a fingerprint on there. And
what are you using to clean a headliner when you do get a spot on
it? White microfiber with a little bit of glass cleaner. Just a little bit.
We use spray away glass cleaner, and it's the bomb.
It works so good, but always a white microfiber. You
don't want to use a yellow or a red. It look like a murder scene in there.
I mean, if you want it to bleed through, you can give it like a little tie-dye look. That's cool.
Yeah, that'd be fine. That'd be fine.
So you did R&Is for that first storm, and you got a taste of the hail season. What happened after?
So I did do a little pushing. They'd throw me a bone every now and again. So I got a little taste of that. But after that, we had the off season. Fast forward to next season, and actually I went and worked for Corey Nichols in Conway, and I was
shout out to Corey.
Yeah, he pushed me a lot in the right direction too. I got a lot better at pushing that next year, and I was R&Ing, and he saw that I had potential, and he's like, you know what, we're gonna put you on cars, whether they like it or not. They're doing their own R&I this week. And I was like, all right, cool. So that was huge.
Were you nervous, or were you like excited? Or
I was excited and nervous because it was kind of like a little nerve-wracking because he'd be like, all right, you're going to the body shops, and I'm like, okay.
Now did you have tools or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been building the arsenal before I even went to training. I
Okay.
just felt like that was what I wanted to do.
Nice.
Got to invest in yourself.
Yes.
Now, the fact that you have John as an uncle, did he pass some on to you, or was
Yeah,
he
I
like,
think
nah, you ain't touching my stuff?
No, I think the first thing he gave me was Drew's Tools pimp stick. I thought that was
Okay.
cool. I was like, I got a pimp stick.
Hell yeah. That's great.
But yeah, he's giving me a lot of hand-me-downs. Tools that I still use. I got like the OG PDR Finesse brace tools.
Mm-hmm.
Love those things. They're good. Good stuff.
No.
Here we go.
I'm sorry.
Ryan, here we go.
So you went to that first body shop. How'd it go?
Good. I enjoyed it. Try to be a people person. I can be a little bit reserved at times, but it was uncomfortable, so I knew that's where I needed to be.
Yeah.
And it was good. It wasn't he wouldn't put me on anything like super beat, He'd be like, all right, he can do this, go over there and do that. So that was nice. He was cherry picking for me, that was awesome.
Nothing wrong with that once in a while, right?
No, not at all. I mean, when you're first starting out, you kind of need that, You don't want to be like, all right, we'll fix this triple oversized 36 oversized dents on this roof that's all braced. And you're like,
Takes you all day.
If I have to, yeah, for
right.
Sure. Yeah. Take you all week.
So how long were you in just that body shop the first time?
So I was bouncing around.
Okay.
From Corey's shop to his shop. They would maybe have 2 or 3 cars every week, every other week kind of deal. So I was going there, and then also R&I as time went on, which was a good balance. I was able to balance it out really well. That's a lot of work, working a lot harder, but you're also learning and building and growing. So
yeah, that's good that you had that balance, because I'm sure that you wanted to just do more pushing, but you had already had the experience R&I, and so
yeah.
From there, where did it go? Like, what was your next?
My next venture. So I mean, after that storm, I'll tell you what really helped me out was I had to do a push to paint.
Those are always fun.
Yeah, this thing was smoked. It was like an older Dodge Ram, and it had a flatbed on it, and they didn't want to take the flatbed off to cut the roof off. So they were like, can y'all push to paint this? And John and Joe were like, it's funny, it worked out. I was like, the week before, I was like, hey, next time y'all get a push to paint, I would like to see if I can't fix some of these big old dents. Next week, they get a push to paint. They're like, here you go. You can fix this whole thing. And I was like, I don't think I can. And
shit,
that was stressful. That was some good stress, but it was stressful. I was like, shoot, I got to do all this. And I was kind of, John will tell you, I wasn't like not happy, but I was not really excited, because I was like, this is above my skill level. And I know it was, but that was the best thing.
But you couldn't screw it up.
Yeah, I mean, if you screw it up, it's all good.
And push to paints are weird for me, because you don't know. Like me as a dent guy, I want to get it up, get it really, really close to almost perfect. But then the body guys come over, they're like, the fuck did you made it, like, all we have to do is sand it down and just barely touch it. And I was like, isn't that what a push to paint is? But then some guys are like, just get it up a little bit and ship it. So it's that fine line you have to watch. Different body guys, different body shops are different. So it's hard to gauge.
Most definitely. I think if you get it flat.
Yeah.
As long as it's flat, you're good to go, because they're going to sand it and paint it.
How long did it take you?
John ended up helping me with it. So
okay.
It's probably, well, he helped me, and then for, I want to say, a couple hours one day, and then I finished it off myself. And I was kind of like you, like, I felt like I was getting further and faster doing like clean work, getting it done versus just like getting it flat and stabbing it
Yeah.
up.
Mm.
Well,
Just
you were
because where I was
trying
at,
to figure it out.
trying to figure it out. Yeah.
Because there's at that point there's no pressure if the paint cracks or you make a bad push because it's a push to paint. So that's usually a pretty good way to learn.
Yeah. No, for
But
sure.
I have a question. What was your mental process to get into something like that where you know that it's a tough one, that you have to do it. You can't just pass it on. Like like what helped you in your mental process of working that?
Walk away and set myself straight, change an attitude, just try and find you got to be positive about it. It's a lot. Like this thing was smoked. I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was tough, and I knew it was going to be tough, but you just have to really you got to get your mind right, and getting your mind right, you basically just got to tell yourself not to be a little bitch.
But so like, do you listen to music? Do you like go out for a walk?
Music helps a lot.
Yeah.
If I get super frustrated, I'll go skate or something. Just take time off, go skate, go skateboard, come back with a fresh mind. And sometimes you have to walk away, and you got to get your mind right, or else I feel like if you work in, you'll get more done walking away and getting your mind right than you will working and just beating yourself up.
Yeah.
I remember one time I used to work for a printing company, and it was like a 24-hour business, and I couldn't get this job done, and it needed to be done like 5 a.m. And it was like 12 o'clock, and I was supposed to already be home, and it was just like 2 o'clock came. I still couldn't get this job done, and then finally the supervisor goes like, just take a break, go outside. It's like, do you smoke? No. Well, just go smoke. Like,
Yeah.
just take a break and then come back and just like, and, I stepped away, went to have some coffee and came back and just nailed it. And I had been just plugged into this job for like 5-6 hours. And it was crazy to me how just stepping away, taking a break and coming back.
Gotta get those fresh eyes, man. Fresh eyes, fresh mindset changes a whole lot. You look at it completely differently. Even if it's just for a few minutes, you come back and you're like looking at something that you might not have seen. You're like, I see what I wasn't seeing now.
Right. Do you ever pass on those panels and like just leave them for the next day where you could come back fresh and then do other panels? Or do you just, once you start a panel, you just focus on finishing it?
I try to focus on finishing it. Depends on what time of day it is. If it's 7, 8 o'clock at night and I got halfway through it or whatever, and I get to like a spot where I'm like just wiped out for the day, I'm like, I'm gonna come back in the morning fresh, finish it up.
Yeah.
Which usually that's when that will happen. Like during the day, I'm usually pretty good, and I can finish out a panel. It's not a super big deal anymore. I feel like this year, and it's not like I don't have a lot of struggle with the mindset versus like just starting out. Because when you're starting out, you work with people that are so good and they're doing this and they're getting it done quick, easy, and you're like, why can't I do that? I want to be like that. But eventually you get there and you're able to weigh the options, do what you got to do.
I think a lot of our job is mindset. When you look at a dent, it's a gnarly dent, and you're like, I don't know. You're already done.
Yeah.
Like Josh and I will do that, and at the shop is like, he'll look at it like, I don't know. I'm like, come on, let's go, let's get this.
You just gotta jump into it. Yeah.
Yeah. Just don't think about it.
Do you have that one car that maybe like you couldn't get it done, and like now years later you're like, man, if I could just go back to that time, I think I could have gotten it?
I don't think so.
That's good.
You had a really good
It's
support system. You know, you had some really good people behind you. So I don't, you know, when you have that, when you have Yeager behind you and you got Joel behind you, you had a really good Corey. You had some really good guys that were behind you that I think helped you with your support. Correct?
Oh yeah, good backbone, man. I've met a lot of good people doing hail on the hail trail, and that's one thing I do like about it is meeting so many different people, so many different egos, and you get to take a little bit from everybody.
Yeah.
Because just about everybody that I've talked to has given me advice or showed me something, and I've been able to take something from it, you know?
That's awesome.
Who's been your biggest like impact, like tech that you've worked with that you're like, man, that guy was, you know?
That's hard.
Yeah.
I was kind of.
No worries. I don't want to put the pressure on you. Everybody's kind of like, oh,
I mean, John's cool, I guess. He's all right. No, I mean, he's got to be my biggest impact, just because. I mean, just mentally, he's a good person to be around. He's influenced me a whole lot. I mean, he's got me into this industry, so
yeah.
And he's my biggest fan too, so
that's awesome, man.
That helps out a lot. It's sad we didn't get to work together this year yet. Yeah,
I know it keeps hailing, right? Jeez, easy.
No, for sure, it's the year of the tech, man. It doesn't stop.
So you spent time working with Corey, and what happened after that? So this was Corey. That was like your second storm, third storm.
Yes. Or? So that was last year in 22. Yeah, okay. 22. Yeah, it's 23, isn't it?
Yes.
So by now you're full in. You're 100%. You're a hail tech.
Yeah, so I made the transition this year, actually. First storm I went on this year was R&I. But I think I kind of was like a little scared at the time. I was like, man, I don't know if I'll be able to get a job pushing. I was like, I had an opportunity to go R&I, and I'm glad I took it because I met a lot of good people there. And that was a good opportunity as well, working for people, kind of showing people that I work hard, keep a good positive attitude, and you'll go far, really, just with those two things right there. If you just show people you're trying and keep a good attitude, you're going to go places. But so this year, that first storm I went to was in Atlanta, Georgia, working for Matt Moore. Kobe LeBlanc actually got me that opportunity, which is
old Kobe.
Yeah, which is really nice of him. Shout outs to Kobe. And went there for about 3 weeks. That was an experience working in Atlanta. I don't know if you guys ever been to Atlanta. It's a little different. It's a little different out there. The Airbnb. So I was staying at these Airbnbs, and they're like hostels. So it's like shared living. And on one of these Airbnbs I was staying at, pulled up. There's no cars in the driveway, and this dude was out front wearing a ski mask, smoking a bleezy. I was like, well, here's where I'm staying for the night.
Hell yeah.
But anyways, met a lot of good people there. Ray Sapnew, Max, Bob Kosh, one of the guys, Mark. I don't know if you guys have met Mark that works for Matt Moore. Young kid. He's stellar. He's really good. But all those guys are actually really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a great crew down there.
110%. I got to, so we were working out of College Park, and I actually had to go R&I at his Duluth store, I think it was. Nice shop, man. That place is amazing.
Yeah, it is nice.
It's super nice out there. But that was a good one for networking.
I like how you're humble about going to work. If it's to push, you'll push. If it's to R&I, like it's to R&I. A lot of guys just they I feel like they want to go
for it.
Yeah, right.
I keep my tools with me. I always keep my tools with me.
That's smart.
In case, you know. But going there, you needed an R&I guy. So I was like, you know, that's what I'm going to do. So I never was like, hey, I can push, by the way. You know, it's kind of like, just stay in your lane. It all work out.
And talking about tools, so what do you keep in your, tool bag? Like as far as pushing tools?
So I gotta have a Carbon Tech. Gotta have that Carbon Tech hail rod. I also use the Dent stuff fixed rod. I think it's like a 56 inch.
Mm-hmm.
I love that thing. I've been putting bike grips on it.
Okay.
Like that. I use a lot of Ultra brace tools for hoods. I did just get the what is it? Oh, the hood and deck set. The real paired ones. With
Best ever.
Gotta have those. If you don't have them, get them.
Yes.
The aluminum killers, I got a few of those.
Mm-hmm.
They also help out a lot. Whale tails, gotta have them whale tails. Dentcraft all day.
Of course.
And then for blending, Kobe gave me a Carbon Tech, the small, like the little mini Carbon Tech blending hammer.
Okay.
Comes with a rounded tip and the flat tip on one side. Love that thing. VIP knockdowns.
Yeah.
Glue, when it comes to glue, use that trifecta. I've been using the Purple Perfection and the Tab Weld, but recently I ordered it from Anson and they gave me some hog glue, that orange. Dude, that'll rip the lips off a monkey.
Shit.
That stuff goes. I just put it in last week. I started using it and I was like, yeah, it's gonna be my new go-to right here. That stuff is good.
How about tabs?
Tabs, Dent Reaper.
Yeah.
I got a few ice tabs. The dark blue Kiko tabs.
Okay.
I use those for a softer pull. Other than that, that's basically it, really. I like those grease tabs.
Is there any tool like on your tool list that you're like, oh man, I can't wait to maybe one day grab this or get one of these?
So Chris let me use one of his stand liner tools the other day, and I forget what it's called. I'm not good with these names, but it was on. I was working on like a 2013-14 Silverado where you have to take the headlights out to get meters, but they have those little holes in the side. And I use this stand liner tool, and I could get right up in there with this little stand liner tool. It had like a little squiggly on it, you know? It has these weird bends and whatnot.
Yeah.
It was mud. I was like, I need that. I needed that yesterday.
Yeah.
Chris will tell you if he's still in here. He knows what it's called.
He is.
Trying to think what else.
How about some of your secret R&I tools? Like what's your...
Snap-on, man. Snap-on.
Snap-on.
The 14.4 volt 1/4-inch ratchet and the little impact drill with the chuck on it. But,
oh, yeah.
All right, hear me out. On the batteries, they have these little magnets you can put on them. Right? That's where I keep all my bits. My bits and my sockets.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
I got a 7, 8, and a 10 on my impact or on my ratchet. And then on my impact, I got a T30, T15, and a T27. That's just about everything that you need. Besides, I use a bone tool. Little stick.
Yeah.
Man's best friend right there.
That's a good idea with the magnet base. I see it on the Snap-on truck all the time. I'm like, I got no use for that.
That's what I use it for, man.
You're going to make me spend some money next week.
You don't need to. You don't need to.
It's a great
Just don't
idea.
put them. Just don't put them on the car. Like, don't use them. That's what they're for, is to, like, set it on something.
Yeah.
I would never do that.
A little bit of metal on there and just scratch the shit out of it.
Exactly. And those soft picks, those little spoon picks.
Yeah.
Those are good. And what else, man? What else do I use? Steck pliers, man. If you don't have a pair of steck pliers, I think everybody, though, has a pair of steck pliers.
Steck pliers? What are
Yeah,
steck
you got the little pliers to get the... Man.
You'll have to send me a picture tomorrow or whenever you have them out next.
Yeah.
So I know what you're talking about.
They're little trim tool pliers. They're like flat. There's pliers.
Oh, and they open up?
No, they open like this.
Oh, hell no. I have no clue what you're talking about.
Oh, they're fun. You gotta have those. They work good on those GM metal clips that they put on everything that's plastic.
Yeah.
So stupid. They're so dumb. They really don't want their interior trim to go anywhere. They're like, it's not gonna go anywhere. Which I don't understand. But what else? Oh man, you gotta have a headlamp.
Oh yeah.
You don't have a headlamp, you're living in the past. You need to get into the future.
Yeah, looking at like visor screws, and I know what you mean.
I develop. It's part of my body now. Usually, when I'm R9, I'll always have a headlamp on. I'll be at dinner with a headlamp on. Seriously.
So, what's your plans? Like where you are now? Like you're like, okay, what's your game plan? Stay in R&I versatile, or are you kind of gonna really try to push towards just pushing full time?
Nah, I'm full time pusher. Don't call me for R9. No, nice. Man. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm never not gonna say no.
Yeah.
It's an R&I game. Why not take it? I'm good at it. I know I'm good at it, so I can do it. But I'm not trying to pigeonhole myself. That was a goal of mine this year. I wasn't gonna R&I, and then I R&I, so I already opened that door. I was like, all right. So when Chris brought me on, it was the R&I, but I had a conversation with him. I was like, Chris, I'll R&I for everybody, but I want to be pushing. You know?
Yeah.
I was like, I have to be pushing. I can't pigeonhole myself to the R&I game. And he was like, for sure. And then just so turns out that I'm pushing more than I am R&I.
That's good.
That was a big thing for me. I was happy to do that. But I was also happy to R&I because I can handle it. I can handle that balance of R&I and then also pushing and keeping up with what I need to do.
Which
especially
is
good. If it's low volume. If there's 7 people, there's no way.
Yeah.
But there was 3 of us, so it was easy to do.
I was looking at one of the comments here, and I was it says David Barnett, I'm still working on cars, almost 10 p.m. Stay positive, stay positive, stay positive. How do you stay positive at 10 o'clock at night working on cars?
Counting his money.
Turn on some good music. Turn on some Joe Rogan, maybe. I don't know. Try and just stay busy. Stay busy. Stay weird.
It's the brain. Keep that brain not thinking of what you're doing, I think. You know what
exactly. I mean? Yeah, you gotta just keep going. Excuse me.
Yeah, and then Lewis was asking, what is your favorite tool for doors?
I like the PDR Finesse door tools.
Yeah.
I love. Yeah, see, we don't work at 10. Yeah, we definitely don't. We don't. It'll be there tomorrow. PDR Finesse door tools are my favorite. I do have some door lords. I don't use my door lords as much as I use my PDR Finesse. I think that the PDR Finesse, like where they bend and they curve out and they have that blade. It's shorter than the door lords. Door lords are like, I think they're like maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches longer, which is it's a good difference. I still use them because I have the sharp door lords and I have the blade PDR finesse. So if I need something sharp, I pull out the door lords.
Okay.
You know, it's funny. Those the PDR finesse. I have those. What a great tool, and I don't use it a lot because I'm always scared of just how sharp they are. But man, when I do use them, they're great tools. Like the leverage that it has just from that curve too is just like it's nice.
Do you have the sharp ones?
Yeah.
I got the blade ones, so I need to get the sharp ones.
Oh, okay.
Slipping into like the front of a door where it's almost to the edge with those, they're great. I've been using them. The only downfall with them is their ratcheting handle.
I like it.
It's just where like I've had some for a long time, and they're starting to get to that hoppy.
Yeah.
You know,
I get what you're saying they get a little jingly. Jangly. Gotcha.
Come on, right? That just means you got to buy a pair of new ones, buddy.
Exactly.
We'll just whack the handles off and put a hub on there.
Yeah.
I'm like, go ahead.
I was gonna say, are you one of those that just like the tool is barely holding on, but you're still putting it into work?
Bro, some things get sentimental value.
Taping it if you have to.
There's some tools that just have like. It's funny you say that because I've had a pair of headphones that I've been using for. It's a pair of Beats headphones that I've had for I don't know. I would say probably 7 or 8 years, right?
Wow.
And I'm at a body shop and I go to put them on, and they're old. I beat them. I throw them around. Don't care. And the whole ear cuff comes off, right? It falls on the ground. I'm like, God damn it. So I grab it and I'm like looking at it. And there's a body guy standing right here and he's looking at me. And it's like a $4,500 hail car, right? And I'm like, some cactus green glue on there, stick it back on. I put them on and he looks at me and he's like, are you fucking kidding? Are you kidding me? And I'm like, what? He's like, you're making $4,500 in a day and you're gluing your ear cuffs on. And I was like, you got a pair of brand new headphones in your toolbox? What are you going to do? You going to let me borrow your headphones? No. So, and I saw Josh last week and he was like, bro, you going to buy some new headphones? I was like, bro, these have been with me a long time. They made me a lot of money. Sometimes they get sentimental. Same thing with tools.
Yeah.
So.
Heck yeah.
It's okay.
Okay.
So your plan is just keep pushing along, keep building relationships, keep growing, obviously.
Keep growing. I mean, it's all you can do.
Yeah.
Gotta stay positive, stay growing.
And where are you based out of right now again? Sorry.
So right now I'm working in Orange, Texas.
Okay.
I live in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay.
How long of a drive is that?
12, 13 hours.
Okay.
Give or take. It's nice. I grew up in Houston, so I'm only about 1:30 from there.
And if there's anyone that's like, oh yeah, I'm looking for a health tech, is there, parts of the country you don't go or parts of the country that you like to go?
It doesn't matter. I'll go anywhere. I'm always down for something new.
That's the attitude. I like that.
Where can people find you? Social media.
I was like, I don't know if I want to.
Hey, we're building those relationships.
I'm on Instagram.
Okay.
I'm on Facebook.
What are you under?
All that stuff. I don't know my Instagram name. You have to look it up. I think it's a scapegoat.
All right.
If you have one tip for somebody new getting in the industry, what would it be?
Work hard. Stay positive. If you're going to take the R&I route, know that you're not working for just one guy that's running the show. You're working for every tech that's there. You got multiple bosses, and don't be a yes man, but if they say jump, you should say how high. You should, because those are the people that will train you. Those are the people that will mentor you, and you don't want to disappoint them or piss them off.
Chris said it. Know your value too, which is 100%.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, and I think something that that I've been seeing from you telling your whole story, just being humble, right?
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Just
I
be
think so.
humble. I mean, do whatever you got to do to stay busy, keep working, right?
Yeah, no doubt. Can't forget where you came from or where you were.
And mindset.
Yeah. And where do you see yourself like 3 years from now?
Hopefully on the hell trail, man. I think I'll still be pushing. Well, I know I'll still be pushing.
Yeah. Come on, 27.
I mean, you never know, man. You never know. Life happens. But I would just like to see myself still on the hell trail and working hard.
Hey, you can move to Baltimore anytime you want. If you're slow, come on by.
I don't know about Baltimore.
It's not too bad. It's not too bad.
It's Baltimore.
It's not as bad as Georgia.
Baltimore.
No, I don't know. Is it though? So I drove through Baltimore, and nobody would let me use their bathroom. Everywhere I stopped, I was like, "Can I use the bathroom?" They're like, "No." I was like, "Hey, I guess I'll just go on the side of the building, man." Everywhere's I don't know.
If you slow down this year and you got nothing going on, call me. I got plenty of work.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to. That'd be awesome. I appreciate that. I really do.
We got plenty of shit for you to take apart and push the paint, so you'll be fine. So if you need work, call me. Chris is like, no, stop talking. We need to end this show now.
Nah, Chris has been awesome this year, man. Big shout out to Chris. He's amazing. I thought I was a laid back person until I met Chris, and I was like, he's really laid back.
Oh yeah.
One of the nicest guys I've ever met, honestly.
Talk about humble.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a good dude. He really is.
Last question here. I think you answered this, but Lewis says, "How about your favorite knockdown?" I think you said the VIP, right? Or
I didn't use the VIP. I recently had the Willie Quick one, the Rocket. I lost it. I left it on the car. It's gone now.
Somewhere.
Some other dent guy's going, fuck yeah, this is the best win ever.
Body guy. I think it's body guy. He got it.
Yeah.
He has no idea what to do with it. He gave it to his son. But I've been using John put me onto this, the little edgy A cup on a knockdown. Money. If you're trying to open up a dent. I know it's a blending tip.
Mm-hmm.
I've been using it to actually when you start using it to knock down.
Mm-hmm.
And but just opening up a dent, I usually use the VIP with the metal tip on it. And it kind of leaves marks.
Yeah.
But that A cup, it does not leave marks, and it comes out clean, and it kind of it has more of a surface area. And it really works well with, especially like knocking down crowns.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Or knocking down ridges or anything like that. I love it.
Yeah, it's a great tip.
Josh just turned me onto a Ultra Tools tip. It's almost like a VIP tip, but it has these little red caps that go on there.
Like, are they long?
It's like it looks like a standard VIP tip. It's a screw-on tip, but it's got these little red, almost like a cherry cap that goes on the knockdown. Mm-hmm. And man, it is really, really nice in between, like trying to just widen it up and not make those marks.
Yeah.
Or like we've been using the Matt Boyette's Cold Snap, and it'll pull it high like on a rail. And that thing is just amazing on just getting soft enough hit to get it to lay and not make a mess. It's a really good tip.
Chris actually just gave me one of those tips today.
It's freaking fantastic, man.
Yeah. I've yet to use it. I'm excited to try it. But that Cold Snap, though, I've been also borrowing Chris's Cold Snap.
Bro.
I ain't going to buy one if he's got one right now.
Game changer. Josh and I just did a F-150 aluminum roof, did the whole roof with the Cold Snap.
Really?
Wow.
How bad was the damage, though?
I mean, it was 7,700 in damage. So, I mean, it wasn't like really killed, but, you know.
Are you using the red or the blue?
We're using red.
Red.
We're in a controlled environment. So, you know, it's usually like 69, 70 degrees in there. So the red seems to really kick it up. And then like if it starts not grabbing like it usually does, I'll start wiping it with alcohol to get really tacky.
Okay.
And then after like the third or fourth pull, it really gets from there.
Wow.
So, and Manny doesn't have it yet, but I'm telling you, bro, you gotta buy it.
I'm gonna buy the cold snap when I leave here. I go to my next place. I'm gonna buy it. But you definitely
Something about the weight.
Yeah, it's
it's a game changer. It's in my top tools for this year.
absolutely.
I mean, it stays in the back of my truck just because if I go mobile, like I'll carry it in between the shop and my truck. It's just a fantastic tool.
I kind of want to wait though, because I'm sure they're gonna come out with a version 2, like they always do.
That's the worst part about tools, right?
I know. You always buy something, you're like, well, I gotta buy another one. But
Well, I appreciate you coming on, man.
yes, sir.
Told you it
Appreciate y'all
was
having
easy.
me.
Just some guys chatting about dents and
Yeah,
living the dream.
making the world go round,
That's it.
making paint
Yeah.
round.
Yeah, thanks for coming on and sharing your story. I don't know if you felt now sharing your story about, you know, just looking at the, you know, looking back now and, you know, seeing your progress. I don't know if you feel different now that you've told it that, you know, we had this conversation at the beginning.
No, I feel good. I definitely, I'm happy where I'm at now. I feel like I've come a long way in a short period of time.
That's
Yeah.
good.
And keep doing what you're doing, man. You know, 27, you know, where you're at, you still got a long, you know, head in front of you. And, you know, I think you're going to do great.
I appreciate
You're doing great. What am I talking about? But yeah.
it.
Best wishes to you. And thank you for sharing your story with us today.
I appreciate you guys having me on, really do. And I'll be giving you a call, Ryan.
Dude, yeah, give me a ring, man. If, like I said, if you don't have any work,
Yeah, for sure.
we've got plenty of stuff here. So
Yeah. And for anybody watching, you know, if you guys need a health tech, R&I guy, there he is.
No R&I. I'm just kidding.
No, R&I.
Well, Brendan,
Get out of it. But anyways, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
you have a fantastic night, man.
Hey, you too.
I appreciate it.
y'all. Y'all
Be
good.
safe and keep doing what you're doing.
We'll see you at MT, maybe.
Yeah, you coming to MT?
Oh yeah, I got to babysit Uncle John.
Oh, you know what? I kind of babysitted him this year. He was we had some drinks, and then like the next day, I'm like, bro, can we finish up the conversation? He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I got you. Forget it. We're good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
So,
man.
Cool, man. You have a great night, and thanks again.
Yes, sir. Y'all be good.
See
Thanks
ya.
for coming on. Thanks, Brandon.
Bye.
Yes.
It's a good one, man.
This is yelling thing, man.
Yeah. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Thanks, everyone, for joining us today.
And I do. Same
Great
thing. I
story.
want to thank everybody, man. It's been the support we've been getting on the show, the amount of people that are watching. It's been awesome. So I hope you guys are enjoying it still. Perfect example on guest. Chris reaches out. If there's somebody you want to see, somebody you want to hear from, send me a message. We'll get them on. I got a couple more in the arsenal here. So just send them our ways to Manny, to me, whatever works. Manny, you have a great night.
You know, I just wanted to say it's amazing how many, you know, PDR guys we know, but the fact that everyone has a story when they come on here and share, sometimes it's motivating. Sometimes we learn something from it. You know, and it's something about, you know, sharing our story. I think it's amazing. So Dent Digest show, this is what we do.
I think a lot of the stories are really similar, so we can relate. Do you know what I mean? You know, the trials and tribulations. So I think guys that kind of eases their stress and their, you know, when you're on the road and you're working and you're trying to get into something, say you're a new tech, and you think the whole world's against you and you're the only one that's struggling, but then you hear these stories and it's like, you're like, that's the same shit that happened to me. And you're not alone. You know, all this stuff is brutal, you know, so keep doing what you're doing, man. You're doing some really terrible repairs. not saying your repairs are terrible. I'm just saying that the damage is terrible, not his repairs. I'm gonna get my hate mail, man. But you know, you're taking on some really gnarly stuff. So keep doing what you're doing, man.
You know, I wish I could find my limit, but you know, I think it's our lifestyle, right? Being dent techs, which is always, raising the bar. But yeah, thank you, Ryan. Best wishes to everyone on here too, and thank you guys again for watching and joining us.
You guys keep it real, and we will see you on the next one. Manny, have a great rest of your week, buddy.
Thanks, man. You too.
See you later.
All right. Bye-bye. See you guys. Bye.